All right, good morning, everybody. Oh, there's nothing. It is the beginning of the month. First start. Rent is due. Who all do we have today? Michelle. And Sarah. Not here. Diana. There. Naomi online. Alejandra. And Gisela online. Edlin. Ashley. And Christopher. Okay, just looking for two more. All right, this is a nice reminder. Always try to simplify whenever possible. Sometimes simpler is better, right? And I'm certainly going to try to keep that in mind with today's topic. So we've been talking about reading and writing in mathematics, and you've had a lot of things where I want you to read a thing, you're going to take some notes, you'll be working problems. So you definitely need a math notebook. Okay? And you definitely need to do a lot of this on paper, by hand. It's going to be the quickest, easiest, best method. However, because we're in a paperless zone here, we really want an electronic version of all that. That would be the ideal. Honestly, if I had my choice, I'd have you all get iPads instead of Chromebooks, and then you could hand write out your notes digitally. It'd be really cool. But sadly, we don't have that. It's a little cost prohibitive. But there are some tools out there that will make your digital life in math class easier. And I'm going to walk you through using 3 of them, the ones I have linked there. There are alternatives. So if you have one, you know them already, that you like to use better, that's fine. These are not, 2 out of the 3 are totally not required. There's one you'll definitely have to use this specific one later in the year. I'll get to that. So the first thing I'm going to show you is called Kami, K-A-M-I. And this is actually a Chrome extension that you will add to your Chrome browser. And this is a PDF editor. So most of my notes, the textbook sections, a lot of homework, worksheets and things, I post to Google Classroom as PDFs. Right? And some of you encountered this issue, especially with the security camera problem. It was a PDF, and some people tried to open it up in Google Docs so that you could type in your answer on it, right? Kami allows you to do that. If you open the PDF with the Kami extension, you'll be able to edit it, and it actually has several tools available for you to mark up, highlight, and even draw on the PDF. In fact, unfortunately, it doesn't work on iPads, mobile Chrome extension of the code, but it does work on Chromebooks. And I'm going to show you here. Let me turn that window off and this one on. There was music. Okay, so here I literally have that problem open. Okay? And so I know it's a very small font there, but you can open up and access your entire Google Drive from here. And then you can open up the PDF and you can draw on it. I just use the drawing tool here. We draw other colors and say like, hey, why don't you look at this spot? This is the problem wall right here. Oh no, I didn't like that. Let's erase that. That doesn't look good. Okay, we'll just cut that out, right? Draw all over it. There is the shapes tool if you want to draw a specific shape. Say, hey, let me get a perfect rectangular box right here. Let me draw a line. That's what I used here, so we get nice, perfectly straight lines from here to there. All right. And then now you can mark up your image from the computer. I know it's going to be a little bit trickier with the trackpad, right? And I have another tool, this will be later on, for more sophisticated drawing purposes. But if you ever want to deal with that, and then if you want to type, you would use the text box tool here. And whatever color font, let's write purple, and we'll just say right here. And we can type some purple text here. Move that around, or close it out if you don't want it. And that's what I did down here to type in my answer to that question. All right. And we can adjust this like any font editor, make it bigger if you can't read it. All of those features are important. There we go. All right. So that's Kami. Very useful when we're dealing with PDFs, which we'll be doing a lot this year. Over here at the upper right-hand side, you've got the zoom in and out. And it adjusts the drawing accordingly. And then, of course, you can save, download, and print all of that. All right? It does seem to save it as a separate file. Okay, so if I send you a post PDF on Google Classroom and you want to mark it up with Kami, go ahead and resave it as a new version that is the marked up version, and then upload and connect that to Google Classroom as your submission. Any questions about this piece of software? No? All right. Then let's take a look at the next one while you're on the computer. Next one, digital notebook organization, OneNote. This is a product from Microsoft. It is a fantastic tool for creating notes out of anything and organizing and keeping track of those notes. Right, so you can see a little bit of some examples of what they've produced here. You can draw in it. Their drawing tools are not super sophisticated, a little bit better than Kami's if you want to try drawing with your cursor, or you do have a mobile touch device. Because this is cloud-based, any notebook you save here, you can log in and connect from any device. I think that's one of the pictures down here. Yeah, right. You can open it up on all your devices. So you can have it there on your Chromebook, and then you can draw on it from a tablet or your phone if you have one. It works that way. But the more useful feature for me is here in the organization. This allows you to set up a system of tabs and categories to organize your notes. And then on the actual note page, you can type in anywhere. You can draw a little bit, as I mentioned. But I use it more for clipping things. Make use of that screenshot feature. Grab anything, copy an image, copy and paste into your actual note page there. And then you can build up a digital notebook. And that's what I want you to do for today's classwork assignment, is to go ahead and create a OneNote notebook for math class. Create a section that would be however you want to do it. You want to do a section like week by week? Do you want to do a section for the whole unit? And then a page for today would just be example notes. Or if you want to go back and add your notes from yesterday's chapter 0 analysis, those summaries, you can click those or take pictures and upload them and stick them into the OneNote notebook. There are other alternatives. Maybe you've heard of Evernote. That one works very similarly. The application I use on my iPad here, OneNote, operates, Notability is somewhat similar. As another example, let me move this back out of the way. I actually have my most extensive OneNote notebook is my Dungeons and Dragons notebook. Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, I play D&D. I actually run the club. If you're interested in playing or checking it out, let me know. But I have a whole OneNote notebook here that has all of the rules for the game. So you can say, here's the combat section, and then here's the rules for damage and dying, right? You got the fancy background there, and you can just type in and start typing anywhere in here. I've also created one here for, I created a plot there, and one of the kobolds are going to attack the village. Here's my plan of what's going to happen. This is, the stats of the kobold, but this is an image I clipped from the book. I have a PDF of all the monster stats, and I could take a screenshot of that and import it into my notes right here. So I can just read all of the information, have it contained therein. And fairly new update now is the drawing features. So we could grab the blue pen here, start drawing, and be like, oh, okay, he took some damage, now he's down to 3 HP or whatever. So it's a fairly handy tool that way. But again, for keeping and organizing digital math notes, this can be an awesome tool because it's so open, you can import literally anything into it. I think that's going to be it. Any questions about using OneNote? All right. Because testing is still a thing, I still have to give you guys tests. Unfortunately, I can't have you go all digital notes because there's no way for me to control and make sure you're only using your digital notes and not access to the rest of the internet. You see the difference there? So I oftentimes allow notes on a test. Right? And part of building the Cornell note style that we'll be exploring tomorrow is for you to create an extremely useful math notebook that you will be allowed to use on the tests in this class. But that's a hard copy, that's a paper copy. It would require more work, I fully realize that. But I highly encourage you to, after you create your paper copy of notes, take a screen or a picture of that, put them in OneNote, and create a digital notebook as well, because that's always accessible, and you can add to and connect it. Hyperlinks, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that till now, right? You can add hyperlinks to this and go straight to web pages for further study, right? Making it an even more useful tool. The ideal would be to use just this. But for the sake of test-taking resources, you're definitely going to need the hard copy as well. So going forward, this will be optional. I will not require you to continue to put anything into a OneNote or digital notes throughout the year. Here's my recommendation for keeping yourself organized. All right? Except for today. I want you to test it once for today. All right. Final comments, questions, concerns on OneNote. All right. And the final tool today, we'll see if Carl is still here. This is the big one. This one was on the syllabus, Geogebra. Okay. This is a wonderful online math tool that actually has several tools in one. You can guess from the name, Geogebra. It's a combination of geometry and algebra. There's these powerful math apps. It has a calculator suite, very much like the Desmos graphing calculator, if you've ever used that. 3D calculator, you can create, there was a picture of them right there, right? You can create these really cool 3D shapes in that. That would be really neat. Maybe we'll get to play with that in Algebra 2. But what we're going to focus on for this class clearly is the geometry app. And when you click on that one, it will take you to a page like this. There is also the app version, which I believe has been installed on the Chromebooks. And it takes you to a blank page, and this is a drawing geometry tool. So you have things here where you can create some points, and you can connect them with segments, or make another point and say, oh, I want a whole line all the way through that. It just goes out to infinity everywhere, right? We'll talk more about the difference between segments and lines later on. You can do a circle, and just touch there, and boom. Creates a circle. Centered here, this far. Maybe I want one on A that goes out to B. Yeah, right? You can create some really cool stuff with this. There's an undo button at the top there. Let me go back to that line. I'm going to create a line. And we're going to do several circles here. And if I go from this intersection to that one, and that intersection to that one, and look at this. Just real fast and easy. Creating this cool geometric design like we saw in the textbook, right? Just overlapping circles. And now you can see you've got this flower petal pattern in the middle here. It just comes out of that. You can play with this, right, all day, really, if you wanted to. Get little things. And there's more tools here. If you click more, you get even more things. And we can force it to make a line that is parallel to this one. There we go. Right? Lots of fun math tools, and we'll be playing and exploring a lot of these throughout the year as the topics come on. When we get to talking about polygons, we'll be using this to create regular polygons. All right? So this frees you from bad art skills. Okay? If you're like, oh man, I cannot draw a straight line to save my life. You're saved. Okay? So your hand-drawn notes can just be quick sketches, just short reminders of, oh yeah, there's the circle thingy. It looks kind of like this. Do your best, whatever. I don't care. I'm checking your notes. I'm not looking for fantastic artistry. However, there will be times in the year where we'll be using this software to create some specific constructions, right? To explore specific concepts and measure things and relate shapes to one another. And then you will be using this because it creates perfect lines and perfect circles every time. It is so wonderful to use. And now you don't have to rely on your bad drawing skills. And then you can save this, you can export it, download it, or just take a basic screenshot of the result, put that in your digital notes, or upload it to the Google Classroom assignment as appropriate. Okay? As with everything else nowadays, it does ask for a sign-in. So go ahead, if you haven't done so before, use your Cristo Ray email and go ahead and create an account that connects to it. That way it saves everything to that, and you can go back and find your old stuff on there. Otherwise, are there any questions about GeoGebra? right, then you have the rest of the class. Go ahead, try making something in GeoGebra. Screenshot it. Stick it in your OneNote notes. Organize that how you'd like. If you want to name your tabs based on the unit, we're in the logic and reasoning unit, or you can call it week 3. And title the notes today, right? September 1st. Whichever way you want to track those. You can do like subcategories on the OneNotes. You can do a tab over. Extra fancy with it. But just create a simple example note page. And then take a screenshot of that and attach that screenshot to the Google Classroom assignment. That's what I want us to do. Created a digital notebook with something on it. That's something to be a GeoGebra picture. That shouldn't take you very long. So you'll have the rest of the class period treated as study home. Continue to work on anything else. If you have work from another class you need to get caught up on, if you have some late work in this class you need to get caught up on, if you want to expand your digital notebook, I'm fine with you taking out your phone to take pictures of your paper notebook now and upload them today. That's okay with me. Whatever you want to get done, just make it productive. Now doesn't let you use your school email. That seems right. Do you already, Gisela, do you already have a Microsoft account with the Cristo Ray email? Because the OneNote account would be the same as any Microsoft or Microsoft 365 Office account there. So if you've already created that with your CRSN email, you'll need to log in with that. Which, if I remember my Microsoft accounts, they still require a separate password. It doesn't just do a login with Gmail directly. Create a Microsoft email. If by email you mean account there, yeah, you can go ahead and do that, at least for today. It's something I would definitely look into if you do decide you want to use this long term. I would try to find out if you already have an account with the Krista Ray email, just because having everything connected in one place is more useful that way. Should work. I'll look into that. Let me close down the YouTube stream here.